Welcome to part 1 of studying How to Reassess Your Chess by Jeremy Silman. The book talks about imbalance. Imbalance are roadmap to what you should do in a game. It consists of superior minus piece, pawn structure, space, material, control of a key file, control of a weak square or hole, lead in development, initiative, king safety, statics versus dynamics. Part 1 Bishop versus Knight. Diagram 1 Comparing the two minor pieces, the white bishop tends to be superior as it covers more squares and crucial diagonals, while in contrast, the black knight is slacking and utterly useless. White also has a target on a7, which can be gobbled up by rook a1 to b7, and chances of mating after bishop c3 followed by queen d4. With black's king so vulnerable, it is completely rational that black would resign. In diagram 2, another comparison, the black bishop is useless, while the knight is the ruler of the board, as it sits in the comfortable and strong e6 square, supported by space on the king side, queen side and central, and with pressure after rook a1, b1 and b7, exerting immense pressure against a7 and c7, black would be best advised to resign. Next is pawn structure, weak pawns, passed pawns, and etc. In diagram 3, here we see that black has an extra pawn, but it's no use since white passed pawn is more advanced and will score the touchdown first. Diagram 4, black is seen to have a weak isolated e6 pawn, and now white will dedicate an attack on it. Chess is a team game, and watch how white makes all the pieces work together. Space, the annexation of territory. A nightmare for black pieces in diagram 5. They are in a cram and gasping for air. This is heaven for white, which controls all space in the board. White can most certainly win if he can find a way to break into enemy territory via c4, c5, or kingside slaughter via g4, g5. Both advances demand even more space. Thus, logical move would be c5, g5, rook c to g1, and rook h1. Material, the philosophy of greed. In diagram 6, black seems to have a more active position, but currently, white has one favorable imbalance, which is material. Taking this pawn gives white multiple advantage. 1. It gives a better endgame odds. 2. It gives a strong control over h1a diagonal and make a hole on c6, which puts great psychology effect on black. A reset so that white won't freak out that his bishop is too far from home. Control of a key file. Roads for rooks. Diagram 7. White has doubled rooks on the e file and black intends to trade rooks, but white has a fantastic move. Annexing the e file completely and black lays there hopelessly, the game will end up in two-way. Black will lose or draw, white will win or draw. Control of a whole or a weak square. Homes for horses. In diagram 8, white enjoys extra space on all fronts. While black's bishop is struggling for a breath of air, white's knight is living the luxury with potential homes, the mansion on d5 and the mega mansion on e6. And so the knight's journey begins and leaves black hopeless. The move g5 is all it takes to end black's game. Lead in development, you're outnumbered. Diagram 9. An advantage in development can prove lethal if used correctly. The side which has lead in development often will try to open up position to attack the enemy king, while the one who has slower lead will try to defend the king in safety. Often, gambits are used to make a battle of imbalance, lead in development versus material. And at times the lead in development can lead to a quick win if the opponent foolishly gobble up all the bait. Here we have an example of a lead in development. Initiative, calling the shots. Diagram 10. Initiative, in other words, pushing your own agenda, is the type of imbalance where you can play your own plans while forcing your opponent to react to your plans and nullifying their plan. A philosophy goes like this. The initiative is a physical manifestation of a psychological battle. In the diagram, it is presented that white is more active and threat like knight g6. White also wants to swing his knight over to e3 and from there to d5. On the other hand, black would like to take advantage on the somewhat loose knight on c4 and the undefended a2 pawn. Black can stop knight g6 by king h7, but it's a purely defensive move, which might submit the opportunity of pushing the agenda to the opponent like in the first example. As we can see, white still holds the initiative. Instead of handling white in this manner, black should reply with stopping knight g6 whilst making white reply to his agenda. Now white had multiple unappetizing options to reply with. dragging down the monarch. Diagram 11. The book isn't really only about attacking. At times we have to recognize the danger the king instead of attacking. In the example, the king is uncastled and is about to get punished. Statics versus dynamics, the battle between short-term and long-term imbalance. In diagram 12, a dynamic advantage is a strength that is utilized in a reasonably quick manner, either to score a KO or to make a static advantage. A static advantage is a long-term or permanent advantage. It can be found from the first 10 moves and can be utilized until the end game. In the diagram, the isolated white pawn is seen as a static weakness by black, while white thinks it's a dynamic advantage, which not only controls crucial e5 and c5 square, it can also make black piece more active, which can initiate an attack on the king. Planning, creating your own future. In the previous How to Reassess Your Chess by Jeremy Silman 3rd edition book, Silman tried to explain how the planning system works in imbalance, but over time, after being with students and lovers of chess, he realized that he have caused many hardworking chess players lose sight of the study, which is to master the imbalance. This is because plans and imbalance are often interpreted into two different things. Even though they are the same, in a nutshell, imbalance will lead you to a path of plans or help you create a detailed plans. Diagram 13 and 14. Seeing the diagram, especially after completing the book, one will notice this imbalance. White has queenside advantage. Black has a weak c7 pawn. If black pushes the c7 pawn to c6 or c5, the b takes c6 pawn will leave black with a weak pawn on b6 and a hole on b5. Black d5 pawn is also weak as it can be protected by another pawn. Black counterplay are d6 bishop, e6 rook, e4 knight and queen are all eyeing on the kingside area. Black b7 bishop is defending d5 and playing a defensive role. Black dark square bishop is giving him firm support to the c7 pawn and also play a key role in attacking the kingside. White b2 bishop is inactive, so without any further thinking, White decided to trade his weak b2 bishop for the powerful d6 bishop. Rook takes d6 here would be bad, because c7 will be a permanent concern. If black used the pawn, not only that it removes a weakness, but it also takes up the comfy e5 square. But it also comes with a consequence. The d5 pawn is now the point of attack. Topalov said, "As you can see, all this is not about concrete lines, but about clear positional weakness. I knew that it didn't matter how long it would take me, but in the end, all the rooks would be exchanged, further highlighting his structural problems." Topalov, one of the greatest attacking players, made it clear that the game isn't based on personal taste. For him, it's attacking, but rather on what the board dictates. Topalov said, "I can chase away the knight on e4, transfer my bishop to b3, and sooner or later I'll exert pressure with two pieces on d5 and push my kingside pawns." Topalov didn't create complex planning, it came naturally. Kick the knight out, leaving no advanced square, then exert pressure on the weak d5 square and advance kingside pawn, which will create a more positive imbalance for him. rerouting the knight through knight f1, d2, b1, c3 would have been ideal. But Topalov decided to pressure his opponent with time pressure.